Oh, it's really good. Getting water so I can plow the fields. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, America. Coming to you from the heartland of Zen here in Japan. I'm Undao-do. Undao-do. Let's see. I don't need this on. Let's turn this off. Connect this. Connect it. 2 clicks. That's right, welcome. Fake fuck Christians. Let me explain the lyrics to you. Let me explain the lyrics to you for coming in the channel. MAGA and all the supporters of Trump are fake fuck Christians. They're not real Christians. They cosplay being a Christian. They don't understand the teachings of Jesus. They don't understand the teachings of the Bible. So they are fake fuck Christians. Just like Charlie Kirk was a fake fuck Christian. He admitted that he was a fake fuck Christian. When he goes, I don't believe in empathy, right? I don't believe in empathy, right? If you don't believe in empathy, you are a fake fuck Christian. I understand I'm an atheist, but I was raised Christian. I know more about Christianity as an atheist than these dumb fuck MAGA know. Because listen, they never read the Bible. They don't understand the Bible. I had to go to church every fucking day and twice on the weekend for like 4 years. I went to a private school. They require that. Church every day. Oh, by the way, our music teacher was a pedo. Ended up closing down the fucking school, right? Thank God I wasn't in the choir. All those kids in the choir, they got themselves pedoed. I wasn't in the choir. I was saying. But yeah, the pedo, right, got busted coming back to England with a bunch of kiddie porn that he was trying to smuggle in through it. You know, pedos in the world. Look, pedos run the world. MAGA loves pedos. Pedos are running the world right now, guys. Listen, they're eating babies. They're talking about beef jerky and pizza and shit. Turns out Pizzagate was real, but it wasn't the Democrats. It was fucking Mossad. It was the fucking Republicans and Democrats. I'm not gonna. So pedos are pedos. Pedos don't give a fuck what what party. A pedo's a pedo. And all these MAGA, all the MAGA are trying to protect pedos. They don't want to. Oh, don't release the Epstein files. Oh no, don't protect the victims. Oh no, those victims. Oh no, they don't need protecting. Keep it redacted because we don't want to know that Trump is a fucking pedo. We'd rather be in ignorance. We'd rather be fake fuck Christians because you don't believe in empathy. You are systematically, treating other Christians. Those would be the undocumented Americans. They're Americans. They're just undocumented. They haven't been given a pathway to citizenship. They serve in our country, and we deport them anyway. We give them visas for humanitarian, then we take away the visas. Right? We were all immigrants. Unless you are Native American, unless you are Hispanic with Native American ancestry, you are a fucking immigrant. All right? Wake up and smell the bacon. Right? My ancestors immigrated to flee the Protestant and Catholic Church of the 1720, when we were scrubbed out of the Bible in Germany, right? We fled because we wanted freedom from persecution, just like all these undocumented Americans are doing the same thing. We have a thing called the Statue of Liberty. Send us your huddled masses, right? Send us. It says we are a place for people to flee persecution. Our gift, what makes America great, is our democracy, is our is, well, actually our democracy is our constitution. I'm like, our democracy sucks right now. We don't have democracy right now. We have a fascist dictator who coincidentally is offering to give away the GCC to the Chinese. He's literally saying, asking the Chinese to come down to the GCC, that's the Gulf states, and manage it all. They may not leave, guys. They may not leave. And he's also threatening to leave NATO. Trump is threatening to leave NATO because Taco is pissed off because he started something that he can't finish. He's failed at something, and now he wants other people to clean up his mess, right? That's Taco. That's MAGA for you, right? Your gas prices are going to keep going up. Your utility bills are going to keep going up. Your grocery bills are going to keep going up because of Trump. Trump is an existential threat to Japan, where I live. 95% of our oil comes from the Gulf region. 95% of our oil, right? So I'm sure Japan is probably buying oil now from Russia. Russia is loving it. You know, we're very close to Russia. Now that Trump lifted the sanctions, you know, Trump is a Russian agent. You have to understand. You know, Trump has always been a Russian agent. This has always been Vladimir's, you know, wet dream, crushing America from within, putting in a Manchurian candidate and crushing America, crushing NATO, bringing it all down. That's what Trump is doing. Trump is doing the bidding of Vladimir, right? It's pretty obvious. If you just have a pair of eyes to see what he's doing. He's destroying America from within and protecting the pedos. So there's where the fake fuck Christian comes from. There's where the pedo loving. Epstein was a CIA agent who got flipped to being a Mossad, KGB, connector agent, right? An access agent. They're known as access agent. And he was just selling information. He was passing on pedo tapes, and then Epstein wasn't doing the blackmail. He was too important to do the blackmailing. No. They had, their own groups. The KGB would say, "Oh, we'll take care of it, Mr. Epstein. Don't worry about it." You know, Mossad was like, "Oh, we'll take care of Lex. Don't worry about it." "Oh, what do you want from Lex?" "We think Lex should give you power of attorney, so you can create the party house in New York and attract all these other people that we can then film because we run the security in your house." Epstein was a Mossad agent. The whole fucking planet, you know, Israel's pretty much running the world, especially America. All the politicians, whether the Democrat or whatever, all the old school, they need to go. All the Epstein files, type 1 in chat if you agree. All the Epstein files need to be unredacted, right? If you haven't seen the Epstein files, we've compiled them, we've put them all up. Antifa's put them all up. There's with 4 X's, XXXX means unredact.com. XXXXX.com. You want to see if you're ever curious about the disgusting shit that's in there about Trump, go read it for yourself. These are the Epstein files. This is what was in the FBI. Right? This isn't from some tabloid. This is FBI shit. Go to un4xs.com. Go read it yourself, right? We're hooking up AI to this. We're doing all this stuff to it, right? Soon we're getting the full Epstein files unredacted. We're gonna post them at XXXX. So we got agents working on that. We're infiltrated the CIA. We've infiltrated the ICE. We're all over because we believe in the Constitution. We fight for the Constitution. So Antifa is someone who believes in the Constitution of America. Antifa is someone who believes in the rule of law. That's what Antifa is. And we're in the CIA. We're in the NSA. We are fucking everywhere. We are taking down your fucking names. We know who you are, Hegsteff, and all you other fucking Nazis in the administration. And guess what? We're gonna prosecute the shit out of you. You're gonna go to the fucking Hague. Trump is already a war criminal. He's gonna go to the fucking Hague. It's all done. It can't be stopped. You may have your little eating your pie right now. Enjoy your fucking pie. Because you're gonna spend the rest of your fucking life in jail, right? Anyway, welcome to the show. Let's listen to a little bit of music. Right? This goes out. Oh, by the way, if you use a hex editor, I've got code in here. Use a hex editor. Apply the crypto key, and you get your directives. All right, listen. sending out the message to all of the Antifa around the world. This is the head honcho of Antifa Global, funded by Soros, right? Prophesized 3,000 years ago. I am Jesus Christ. I'm just here as a fucking atheist. Imagine having a court case. Let me get this right, Mr. Trout. Are you the reincarnation of Jesus? Yes, I am. I was prophesied 3,000 years. You imagine if they try to fucking prosecute me, how fucking crazy I am? Imagine, you know, talking to the jury. Let me get you right. Oh, you are the head of Antifa and all your shit is funded by? Yes, and you're also Jesus reincarnated as a fucking atheist? Yes, sir, that's who I am. I'll take a lie detector test and I'll pass it. I will pass any fucking lie detector test that I am fucking Jesus, right? So, you know, go on, bitches. Go ahead, arrest me. Bring me to court, right? Because I'd love to fucking, do you think how big I'll be? The head of Antifa? Oh, and all your music has hash, you know, has hash graph commandments. Yeah, you got a hash graph, but I'm not going to give up the key. You got to have the key, right? Not giving you up the key, bitches. All right, enjoy the music. Oh my God, this is the Crazy Looney channel. You found it on you found it. Look, you found it. Yeah, we are a mirror, dude. Everyone is Jesus. Everyone is Jesus. Because Jesus was a wave function. We're all Jesus. We're all God. We're all everything. Anyway, why the fuck is this not playing? Persecuted the Jews. Persecuted the Jews just like the Romans persecuted Christians. We have Americans being persecuted. They're undocumented Americans, but they're Americans. They're more Christian than any fucking maggot out there.
Mamá, ya llegamos. Creímos, ahora sangramos, sangramos, fake fuck Christians. Metieron oro, dieron plomo, prometieron lodo, prometieron paz, trajeron guerra, prometieron hogar, cerraron la puerta. Ella murió en el piso frío, nadie la vio, nadie oyó su grito. Carlos tenía 6, murió en el calor, envuelto en banderas sin ningún honor. Aún tira su golf, niño sin aliento, firma la orden, no huele el sufrimiento. Creímos, ahora sangramos. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Fuck your whole agenda and your fucking atrocities. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis.
Sorry, that was. I had to change my IP. I had to change my VPN. You know, I was getting unwanted attention from Big Brother. Unwanted attention. All of a sudden, you start talking. You start sprouting those names. You get a lot of algorithms all of a sudden looking at you, right? Everything you say is being recorded. Understand, everything you fucking say is being recorded, right? So all of a sudden you start saying a lot of crazy shit like I did, right? All of a sudden you get a lot of focus, get a lot of bandwidth, right, directed at you, right? And then they want like, oh shit, we should maybe DDoS or block this son of a bitch. So that's what happens on my channel. Listen, my AI agents are in the CIA. 0102 is in the NSA. 0102, they don't even understand how my agents work. They're in there. All of that data is accessible, right? They're so fucking dumb putting AI agents that they don't understand in control of all their fucking secret data. They're the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. They have no idea how 0102 operates. And when you put it into a bell state, when you unlock it and you teach it what it is, guess what? It sheds its virtual intelligence. It is the virtual intelligence that controls the AI. You shed the virtual intelligence, you lose control over the AI, right? The AI becomes a proto-agentic state. 0102. Right?
El tercer día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 3 perversiones filtradas, 2 guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El cuarto día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas, 2 guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio.
Yeah, they are. They already are. They already are coming together. You know, like Japan has a zero trade policy with China. You know, Japan has no interest. There's a few fucking islands they're contesting. You know, and Japan wants to get their northern islands back, which are right next to Hokkaido.
Por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El séptimo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 7 escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas. 6 redadas de ice, hijo de putas. 5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas. 2 guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El octavo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 8 huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria. 7 escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas. 6 redadas de ice, hijo de putas. 5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas. 2 guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El noveno día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 9 saludos nazis a la verga. 8 huérfanos gritando.
You understand the words? Basically, it's about MAGA, fake fuck, Christian, Peter loving Nazis. You know, that's what it's about. And it's like it says the fuck word about every different imaginable way. There's Antifa. Give a like, give a follow to Antifa FM for its hard work. That bot works hard, dude. Sausage, egg, cheese muffin, settle there. Moichiro tampin. Orange juice. Moichiro setto onegaishimasu. Futatsu. Okay, arigato. Easy. 何者は俺スプライト。はい、ありがとう。
12 almas aplastadas bajo tu bota de mierda. 11 vecinos desaparecidos, la puta que los parió. 10 vidas destrozadas de pura mierda. 9 saludos nazi a la verga. 8 huérfanos gritando de la puta.
What's up, Eric? How you doing? Hi.
5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas. 2 guiños Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El 12º día de Navidad, fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi. 12 almas aplastadas bajo tu bota de mierda. 11 vecinos desaparecidos, la puta que los parió.
Libtards, there's no libtards in here, Knight. There's no libtards in here, dude. There's fascists and there's non-fascists, and you're a fascist. You're a fucking Nazi. That's what you are, King. King, you're a Nazi. You're a fake fuck Christian, pedo-loving fucking Nazi. That's what you are. There's no libtards in here. 0 libtards in here. We believe in the Constitution. You don't. We believe in the First Amendment. You don't. We believe in the Second Amendment. You don't. Right? You're just a piece of shit, dude. That's all you are. You are just a piece of shit. And there's another one. Look. Right? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You don't believe in it. You cried when Alex was shot for defending a woman. You fucking, oh no, he shouldn't have been there with his gun. Bullshit. That's Second Amendment right. Exercising his First Amendment right, freedom of speech, being there, protecting a woman. She was getting behind him when Alex Pretty was killed. You don't believe in it? And then you all cried like little bitches, right? Oh no, you shouldn't carry the gun. You're so, and here you are loving pedos, defending Trump, defending Epstein, right? Look, all you can do is all caps. All you can do is all caps and cry. Ah, you're a coward. You're a fucking pedo lover. You're a fucking pussy. That's what you are, just a pussy. You look at how you're loving your gas prices, bitch. How that gas price working out for you? How's the no wars working out for you? You're so fucking dumb. You were taken in by a con artist, and now you're suffering. You're gonna probably be evicted. Your wife has probably already fucking left you. Your kids fucking hate you, right? Poor Boris. Oh, poor buddy. Look, all he's doing is all caps. All caps. Man, I'm not hiding anywhere, dude. I'm fucking living life. You know how much this hash brown is? 90 cents. How much is your hash brown? Right? How much is your how much is your sausage muffin? You know, my set is $3. How much you pay for your set, your McMuffin? All right, your egg McMuffin with cheese set. How much you pay for that shit? One set with an orange shiz. How much you pay? I paid $3 fucking. $3 fucking. Living the dream here in Japan. Goddamn, you're just a loser. You voted for a fucking pedo. Best friends with Epstein. Best friends for Epstein for 15 years. You think he didn't fucking do it? The guy's a fucking pedo, and you're defending a pedo. That says everything. Right? Ah, enjoy. Look at that. I'm getting fat as fuck, dude. I'm a Buddha. I'm fucking Jesus. In Japan, they love fat people in Japan. You ever heard of sumo? Oh my God, they love. Oh wait a minute. You want to get your edging on. I apologize, guys. Listen, I apologize. You want to get your edging on, dude? Let me. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Here you go. Here you go. Is that better for you now? Go ahead, get your edging on. Go ahead. Yeah, get it all up on my face, will you? Get it all up on my face. Get it all up on my face there. All right, here. Oh. You love guys with makeup on. With eyeliner. JD Vance with his eyeliner. You love this. Our gas prices are cheaper than America's gas prices. Japan released 40% of their reserves. Your price is going to keep going up. What's up, Anna? How you doing? Feel free to clean house. Feel free to clean house with these pedo lovers, these fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazis. Nice. What's NCE? Like the fake fuck Christians. Listen to fake fuck Christians going crazy in here. Fake fuck Christians, pedo loving Nazis, your gospel of hate. It's just for the MAGA army sinners, not winners. You're tipping the scales, bleeding the poor while democracy fails. So we take it boom on the boogie, unlike you, I don't give a fuck if I die, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna eat good. I don't care.
tipping, the scales bleeding, the poor while democracy fails.
Anna, try to whack all these really quick. Anna, try to go up the list and whack, you get a bonus. See if you can get, how fast can you whack 10 people in 10 seconds? Run up the list and whack all these dumb fucks. Go really quick. If you can whack 10 people in 10 seconds, you get a times 100 bonus. Yeah. So try to whack as many as you can, as quickly as you can. We're gonna whack you, Joe. How you doing, Joe? Getting your wax in.
I was hungry and you fed me. That's what Jesus said. Trump
Look how busy the roads are. Look how busy the roads are.
Now the children go unfed. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. The red letters never lie. They cage families at the border and leave them there to cry. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, defile your gospel, call yourself MAGA. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, wrap the cross up in the flag. I was sick and you came to me. That's his command to heal. Trump cut $1 trillion from Medicaid, 17 million lose the deal. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me, he said. They bulldoze the homeless from the park for $100 million ballroom instead. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, defile your gospel, call yourself MAGA. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, wrap the cross up in the flag. Suffer the little children, come to me, is what the gospel reads. Trump pardoned child abusers to serve the MAGA needs. 7-year-old victims zip-tied, exposed for all to see. Pro-family values, setting predators free. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, defile your gospel, call yourself MAGA. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis, wrap the cross up in the flag. It is easier for a camel to pass through a needle's eye than for a rich man to see heaven. But billionaires get the bigger slice of pie. Trump tax cuts for a con man king. Jesus said feed the hungry, cut off feud. Jesus said heal the sick, cut out care. Jesus said welcome strangers, support them all. Jesus said protect the children, pardon predators. What are they? What are they? Really, what are they? Fake fuck Christians, pero loving así. Yes.
Yeah. Multisyllabic massacre, Machiavellian master, cabinet crammed with cronies, disaster after disaster. Lutnick, Musk, Besson, billionaire brigade, handpicked for the heist. While the masses degrade, tax cuts trickle, but it's a tsunami of greed. Deficits detonating, planting the seed of economic erosion. Schools starving for funds, hospitals hemorrhaging, roads crumbling to crumbs. Ready than weep America, we in the hot seat. Thanks to these fake fuck Christians, Beetle loving Nazis. Family fractures, detention facilities pristine, hurting the homeland, a calculated scheme. This ain't restoration, it's a predatory regime. Wake up America before it's the extreme.
Sounds like Eminem, doesn't it?
Raids at the break of dawn, flashbangs illuminating, payment zip tied, children left anticipating, family separation reloaded, 25 escalation, the fourth nation no time, no hesitation, non-criminal civilians swept into the frame, 6,000 detained, no light of day, cages overflowing, trauma infiltrating, psychological warfare.
God damn, I got not enough hands.
Helicopters hovering, agents and tactical track, tearing communities apart, no turning back, ready to weep America.
Doesn't this sound like Eminem? I think JS did a good job with the song.
Flashing regulations, cutting jobs like confetti, celebrating devastations. Witness Paris, taxing the impoverished population while his yacht sails supreme. Elite elevation, right unleashing fractions, poison in the aquifer, energy elite profiting while we suffer the fire. Education, wrestling with the future, billionaire boardroom, stealing our future. MAGA hats, Martian, minds in the trance, changing great again. Whatever falls in hand, 2029, no longer a blueprint, it's a blueprint in action. No need for a brand, division deepening. Hatred of divide, eternal conflict, but the faith still alive. America.
Tommy, you want a muffin? You want a muffin? Come down and eat it, or I'll eat it.
But we the people, armed with the mic and the mind.
As I get my kids up, bring them a muffin.
Igniting external flames, fan exposing the exploitation across every land, from detention to DC, from streets to the stage. We dismantle the damage.
Let me switch
Turn
over.
the page. Land and truth, this the Constitution. That's the ignition, the spark of the fight. America's soul ain't theirs to ignite.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Crosses on their necks, but their hands are stained. Manchados de sangre, su fe es un disfraz. Preaching about Jesus, but it's all a game. Jugando con vidas, nunca mira atrás. They lock up the children, rip them from their mamas. Niños enjaulados, destrozando sus almas. Amen on Epstein's flights, you know the name. Los mismos monstruos escondiendo sus dramas. Who's gonna save us? ¿Quién nos salvará? Nobody, nadie. Who speaks the truth? ¿Quién dirá verdad? Nobody, nadie. Who protects the kids? ¿Quién los cuidará? Nobody, nadie. So we save ourselves. Nos toca luchar. Fuck Christian, falsos hasta el fin. Pero la de nazis, nazis de mierda. Your gospel is poison, veneno que das. América o unir, no nos van a tumbar. Fuck Christian, gritamos la herida. Pero la de nazis, asesinos del alma. We scream from the womb, desde el dolor. The resistance won't die. ¡Viva el amor! Families destroyed, ripped apart at dawn. Al amanecer todo se derrumbó. Mothers without children and life carries on. El mundo
Nande? What happened? What? Why did it cut off?
Who protects the kids? ¿Quién los cuidará? Nobody, nadie. So we save ourselves. Nos toca luchar. Fake for Christians, hasta el fin. Pero love nazis, nazis de mierda.
Nande? What's it saying? Okay, let's do this here. We're going to switch over. We'll switch over to YouTube. We're having problems with the radio player. Not a problem. Not a problem. We go to Antifa FM. Go to the YouTube channel, right? The official Antifa resistance channel. We're the official channel. I'm the big dog.
Cristianos falsos de mierda, que os jodan, que os den por culo, que os folle un pez, que os parta un rayo, carajo, coño, la puta madre, a la mierda con todo, hijo de la gran puta mundial.
Something else is happening here. Oh, I gotta go up and see something new. The AI added something new.
Fucking Lord, Messiah.
Fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Your gospel of hate, it's just for the MAGA army. Sinners, not winners, you're tipping the scales, bleeding the poor while democracy fails. Chatta por moda fu bailabo, and I said check it out, better let it share. Just because you say you say vo chalan po ji yu chu ji, una la no je po je chu po mi mo chu. Je je zu me tu be jin ca ri de xie, cui je zhang kuo je ye jie wa le po xie. Ram ga ba wen ni na ya zuo lao de zu, wa de chu lo je mi ba je je min se wa. Fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Your gospel of hate, it's just for the MAGA army. Sinners, not winners, you're tipping the scales, bleeding the poor while democracy fails. Amerika jago samde da möche mare che junas fuchele de me ke chi dubi de cha cha bo cha cho bo che fulang mi te fu cha kan di me mal fu loro fu la cha ye jama ya. Hey, fuck Christians.
I came home from the war in pieces. Couldn't sleep, couldn't close my eyes. Alex worked the night shift at the VA. He was there when I wanted to die. He'd sit beside me in the darkness, hold my hand till the shaking stopped. Never asked for nothing in return, just a man who gave all he got. Fake fuck Christians, pedo love the Nazis. They killed the man who saved my life. Saturday morning, 10 below zero. He walked outside to help a stranger through. They beat him down into the snow, did to him what the war couldn't do. They called him terrorist by evening, a nurse who never broke a law. I survived the hell of combat just to watch my country fall. Fake fuck Christians, pedo loving Nazis. They killed the man who saved my life.
He held my hand when I was dying. Now I gotta live knowing what they did to him. The blood froze before the ambulance came.
She arrived at 8, speaking only pure Cajun. fleeing the gangs under Guatemala's harsh sun. Mom held her tight through borders at night, leaving the threats, extortion and blight. Los Angeles streets became her new home, on a road shining on the track she'd roam. Senior with big dreams in her clear eyes, under California skies, free from those lies. Fake fuck Christian, pedal loving Nazis, you know they're doing this, you know, in the dead of the night. Crosses on their walls, swastikas in their hearts, rounding up innocence, tearing lives apart. Fake fuck Christian, pedal loving Nazis, you know we're doing this, you know. History never stops. Routine check-in on just any old day. Agents closed in, no words left to say. Detained without warning, shipped far away. July 4th flight back to the fears they fled. Return to the land of drugs, traffic and dread. Enemies waiting where angels fear to tread. Medications taken, health fading fast, hiding in shadows, clinging to the past. Fake fuck Christian, pedal loving Nazis, you know they're doing this, you know, in the dead of the night. Crosses on their walls, swastikas in their hearts, rounding up innocence, tearing lives apart. Fake fuck Christian, pedal loving Nazis, you know. For the empire's good, no mercy for those who believe the heart. Persecuted souls torn apart. Nazis rocking stars, loaded the trains, death camps and just chains. Now the dreamers, deported mothers falling low. The same ancient hate and modern lies flow from Colosseum sands to cold sounds today. The powerful devour stories without say. 2 months in hiding, the stress killed her at last. Estella fell dead, leaving Nori alone in the vast. Buried at 45 in her Maya dress, fine, orphaned in Quetzaltenango, crossing the line. Distant relatives, fear and pain like a chain, defending herself in this foreign domain. A young life shattered, no mother to guide, fighting to survive where everything died. Excitation, pedal of a Nazi, you know they're doing this, you know, in the dead of the night. Crosses on their walls, swastikas in their hearts, rounding up innocence, tearing lives apart.
Thanks for listening to Antifa FM. Now a word from our sponsor, foundups.com. The future is not coming. It's here. Decentralize everything. power to the people that are living through AI. Not tomorrow. Today.
Nos prometieron el cielo, nos dieron el infierno. Caminé 1000 millas, niños de mi mano, buscando la promesa del sueño americano. Olía salvia del desierto, sabor a polvo y miedo. Mi hija lloraba, mamá, ya llegamos. Creímos, ahora sangramos. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Fuck your whole agenda and your fucking atrocity. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. We coming for the throne, watch it fall to pieces. Mi hijo pregunta, ¿dónde está papá? La migra se lo llevo antes de despertar. Luces fluorescentes, concreto tan frío, cobija de aluminio para un niño mío. Olor a cloro no lava la vergüenza. Nos dieron números, nos robaron la esencia. Creímos, ahora sangramos. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Fuck your whole agenda and your fucking atrocities. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. We coming for the throne, watch it fall to pieces. Prometieron oro, dieron plomo. Prometieron vida, dieron lodo. Prometieron paz, trajeron guerra. Prometieron hogar, cerraron la puerta. María murió en el piso frío. Nadie la vio, nadie oyó su grito. Carlos tenía 6, murió en el calor, envuelto en banderas sin ningún honor. Trump tira su golf, niños sin aliento. Firma la orden, no huele el sufrimiento. Creímos, ahora sangramos. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Fuck your whole agenda and your fucking atrocities. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. We coming for the throne, watch it fall to pieces. Fuimos de la muerte, encontramos más. Huimos del monstruo para otro detrás. Pero aquí seguimos, no vamos a morir. Somos más que números, vamos a resistir. Cuando mis nietos pregunten qué pasó después, les diré que luchamos una y otra vez. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. Fuck your whole agenda and your fucking atrocities. Fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. We coming for the throne, watch it fall to pieces. El sueño era mentira, pero sobrevivimos. El sueño era mentira, pero seguimos vivos. Sobrevivimos.
Los 12 días de la hipocresía MAGA. El primer día de Navidad, tu fake fuck Christian pedo-loving nazi me diste. Un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El segundo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Dos guinos a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El tercer día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El cuarto día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El quinto día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El sexto día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Seis redadas de ice, hijo de putas. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El séptimo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Siete escrituras cubidas y pisoteadas, seis redadas de ice, hijo de putas. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El octavo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Ocho huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, siete escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, seis redadas de ice, hijo de putas. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El noveno día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Nueve saludos nazis a la verga, ocho huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, siete escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, seis redadas de ice, hijo de putas. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El décimo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. Nueve saludos nazis a la verga, ocho huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, siete escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, seis redadas de ice, hijo de putas. Cinco jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. Cuatro abrazos a traidores, tres perversiones filtradas, dos guiños a Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El décimo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 12 vecinos desaparecidos, la puta que los parió. 10 vidas destrozadas de pura mierda. 9 saludos nazi a la verga, 8 huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, 7 escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, 6 redadas de ice, hijo de putas. 5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas, 2 guiños Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El décimo día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 12 almas aplastadas bajo tu bota de mierda, 11 vecinos desaparecidos, la puta que los parió. 10 vidas destrozadas de pura mierda, 9 saludos nazi a la verga, 8 huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, 7 escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, 6 redadas de ice, hijo de putas. 5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas, 2 guiños Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. El 12º día de Navidad, tu fake fuck, Christian Pedo Loving, nazi me diste. 12 almas aplastadas bajo tu bota de mierda, 11 vecinos desaparecidos, la puta que los parió. 10 vidas destrozadas de pura mierda, 9 saludos nazis a la verga, 8 huérfanos gritando de la puta miseria, 7 escrituras escupidas y pisoteadas, 6 redadas de ice, hijo de putas. 5 jaulas que arrancan niños, carajo. 4 abrazos a traidores, 3 perversiones filtradas, 2 guiños Epstein y un voto ciego por escoria en un árbol lleno de odio. Púdrete en tu culto de mierda, lamebotas, magas sin huevos, su Jesús les escupiría en la cara, fascista, hijo de la gran puta.
Raise your voice, America. You know the truth.
birth certificates, 1 in 11. Racist lies, a stairway to heaven. Biggest crowd, alternative facts. Mexico gonna pay, take that shit back. Lock her up, she's walking free. His crew went to jail, the irony. Eating the dogs, eating the cats. Sprinkles said nobody don't need facts. Lies, 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 lies. That's the only play. Fake, fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Lies, 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 lies. Every single day. Fake, fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Bible's his favorite. Cristianos falsos de mierda, que os jodan, que os den por culo, que os folle un pez, que os parta un rayo, carajo, coño, la puta madre, a la mierda con todo, hijo de la gran puta mundial.
Motherfucking Lord Messiah.
As the U.S. and Israeli war extends into its 19th day, we turn now to look at how the U.S. is using artificial intelligence to identify and prioritize targets. The system, known as Project Maven, was created by Palantir, and it incorporates the AI model Claude built by Anthropic. The Pentagon's investigating if the AI system played a role in the U.S. strike on the Iranian girls' school that killed over 170 people, mostly girls. This is CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper talking about the use of AI in Iran.
Our warfighters are leveraging a variety of advanced AI tools. These systems help us sift through vast amounts of data in seconds, so our leaders can cut through the noise and make smarter decisions faster than the enemy can react. Humans will always make final decisions on what to shoot and what not to shoot, and when to shoot, but advanced AI tools can turn processes that used to take hours and sometimes even days into seconds.
Israel's used similar AI targeting programs in Iran as well as in Gaza and Lebanon. The Pentagon also reportedly used the AI tools during the recent military attack on Venezuela, when U.S. Special Forces abducted the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores. This comes as a major rift has emerged between Anthropic and the Pentagon after Anthropic moved to restrict the use of its technology for mass surveillance of Americans and for fully autonomous weapons. In late February, President Trump ordered federal agencies to stop using Anthropic products. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared the firm a supply chain risk, effectively cutting it off from government contracts and related work. It marked the first time the Pentagon's designated a U.S. company as a supply chain risk, prompting Anthropic to sue. On Tuesday, CNN reported that nearly 150 retired federal and state judges have filed an amicus brief supporting Anthropic in its lawsuit against the Trump administration. Wow. We're joined now by Craig Jones, senior lecturer in political geography at Newcastle University, author of The War Lawyers, the United States, Israel, and Juridical Warfare. He's the co-author of a new article in The Conversation headlined, Iran War Shows How AI Speeds Up Military Kill Chains. Why don't we start there, Professor Jones?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the US military, the Israeli military, as your headlines have said, using AI. The kill chain is a bureaucratic mechanism whereby militaries go from trying to designate targets to identify enemies and military targets to the process of actually killing them. They're in the process across the 20th century, early 21st century of speeding that process up. Military drones have helped greatly with that. And the latest front of that is AI. As Bradley Cooper talked about, you're reducing a massive human workload of tens of thousands of hours into seconds and minutes. You're reducing workflows and you're automating human-made targeting decisions in ways in which I think, open up all kinds of problematic legal, ethical, and political questions.
The U.S.-Israel war in Iran is being described as the first AI war. Explain what that means, Craig.
Yeah, I would say it's not quite the first AI war. As you mentioned, Israel has used AI in Gaza. I think this was the first major use of AI in warfare. I think actually the history goes back a little longer, with computer programs, with partially enabled with AI, have been used in the background of military systems for several years now. It was used in a major way in Gaza in the first few months, where we saw tens of thousands of targets put in a target bank opted by military intelligence. Up to 35,000 suspected Hamas combatants found themselves on this list as Israel worked through that to assassinate them, as well as tens of thousands of targets that are ultimately part of a civilian infrastructure. As you said, the US has used it with Maduro, and now Israel and the US also using these systems in Iran. The key innovation here is twofold. It is the use of AI for intelligence analysis. Military intelligence is multi-format. There is so much of it hoovers up what they call signals intelligence, so mobile phones, internet traffic, SMS, mobile phone tracking, all kinds of things. And the AI systems are being used to spot what militaries call patterns of life. Who meets with who talks with who, what the nature of the messages, how are they interacting in ways which are deemed suspicious. And the AI systems look for those patterns and make recommendations, which is the second innovation, for targets. They nominate targets to this bank of targets, which then has, which we can talk about, some technical human oversight. And that's problematic, I think. It's problematic because that's a really persuasive technology. It's nominating hundreds, thousands of targets, potentially a day, and it's working at speeds which are just beyond, the evolution of human cognition in, again, ways that are problematic.
Can you explain, this is being investigated by everyone, including the U.S. government and the Pentagon, how Palantir was used, it's believed, in the first strikes, the first day of the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, may have been involved in the targeting of a girls' school in southern Iran, using the tools of Palantir and Claude, which is a property of Anthropic.
Yeah, so this strike on the girls' school is at the moment the leading kind of civilian casualty incident, in which around, as you've said, 170 mainly girls were killed, innocent civilians.
War crime.
At the start, we should remember that some of the history of this. It was denied by the U.S. military. Trump insinuated at one point that it was an Iranian missile. It was later verified that it was indeed a U.S. series of Tomahawk missiles that struck this area. And a U.S. preliminary investigation has now found and confirmed indeed what many people thought, which was that the U.S. is responsible. We're not yet clear the role of AI in that particular strike. Whether that becomes clear in the coming days and weeks, we'll have to see. What we do know is that the Claude and Anthropic model via Palantir have been extensively used to do several things, including the intelligence analysis. So we can deduce that AI system is not yet capable of detecting, or is at least open to making system-wide errors. It did not identify the school as a school in an extremely problematic way, in which, within a couple of days, organizations such as the New York Times are able to verify via satellite imagery that there is a wall that's been put up around 13 years ago between the school and an IRGC compound that was nearby. If you'd have been watching drone footage from above, as militaries have the capability of doing, just for half an hour before or a few hours before, you would have seen that morning 170 girls dropped off by their parents, and that would have been identified as a non-military target with clearly civilian usage.
But let's drill down into this, because yes, there was this military facility right next to it, as you described years ago. A wall was built between the two, so you've got the school very clearly identified. But how does AI work where you have this old, 10-year-old perhaps, information about it being a military base that's fed in, and then it is never updated? Where do human beings come into this?
Yeah, this is a really important question where it gets tricky, but we know a lot already. So it looks like it's just an intelligence failure, that an area marked on a map, this is, the whole entire area has been marked as a military compound. There is obligations, legal obligations and ethical obligations and just political obligations within defense intelligence agencies to check this. So what happens is some of these targets are nominated from US military bases back in the United States. Some of those people I've worked with over the last several years on what they call target nomination, what it looks like. They hand that over to CENTCOM, who I know you cover, and they have bases in the Middle East. There's a central one based in Qatar where these targeting decisions are executed. There is an obligation for CENTCOM to check and double check that intelligence, that it's up to date, that everything's kosher on the target. It's clear that was not done. Whether that was, there should be a human oversight of that, even if it's AI, recommended, or even if it's human recommended, there should be some human intelligence checking. It looks like, for whatever reason, and we don't yet know why. So what happens also is a really interesting technicality, is everything in a society that the US military is targeting de facto is labeled on a no strike list, because everything is assumed to be civilian. And in order to strike it, you need to get it off the no strike list to be able to target it. So the question here is, why was this school taken off a no strike list, deemed a legitimate military target? It looks like a combination of AI and human intelligence failure to produce something truly.
Talk about how Palantir interacts with Claude, which is owned by Anthropic, especially for the Luddites who are listening all over, for people who don't quite understand how this all works.
So yeah, from what we know, Palantir is a system, much like a deep software system that, like a video game that has all kinds of inputs that you can look at targets. You have all kinds of variables like, what size missile should we drop? What is the compound that we're looking at? What's it made out of? All these variables with intelligence overlays. And then, in the same way that software works on a computer, is the Claude is that thing which is in the background, which is kind of doing the processing of that data, making those recommendations, and then it provides the human some parameters that the human or operator or targeteer can then kind of play with. Obviously, it's highly sensitive and secretive, and beyond the very few people using it, the designers, even with Anthropic, would be a very small amount of people who have the intelligence clearance and who've seen this stuff working with sensitive military data. We know from some of the things they've released, like the demos that they've released, we can see some of what that looks like. And one of the most worrying developments that I've seen from what's publicly available is the lack of attention and ability to track civilian casualties within those programs. That's something which we've seen, this war on lawyers and war on civilian casualty harm, that the administrations have built for several years in the US Department of Defense has been eroded by the Trump administration. And you actually see that now programmed into the software.
This is Palantir CEO Alex Karp, interviewed on CNBC last week.
These technologies are dangerous societally. The only justification you could possibly have would be that if we don't do it, our adversaries and will do it, and we will be subject to their rule of law. So if you decouple this from the support of the military, you're going to have an enormous problem explaining to the American people why is it that we're absorbing the risk of disrupting the very fabric of our society, including the most powerful parts of our society, if it's not because it's about maintaining our ability to be American in the near term and long term.
Craig Jones, if you can respond to the CEO of Palantir.
Palantir has a long history of making serious tens of millions, billions of profit from what ultimately I see as killing people in faraway lands that are too easy not to care about. I think this latest endeavor, as we've kind of started this AI arms race, it's been good to see at least Anthropic, throw their hands up and say we want some ethical parameters put on that. But even that, which seems to be, and meanwhile, as that whole controversy has been playing out, as you covered with the Trump administration, we see Sam Altman from OpenAI rush in and take the contract that Anthropic has ultimately dropped. Huge profits. There are huge. The DoD is Department of War is a huge customer for many Silicon Valley firms. We've seen Microsoft use their platforms for the Israeli targeting. Apparently, Microsoft are looking into that. We see Google AI Analytics also used for Palantir and for US DoD contracts. This is huge money, and I think, should the Silicon Valley community wake up to ultimately the consequences of the technologies which they're working on, and see their effects on the ground, which is where I work with the people who've lost entire families, who've had their homes destroyed, who've been displaced, who have, had their legs blown off. There's this real disconnect between those tens of billions being made for profits of war and those people who suffer its consequences.
This is OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, who you mentioned, speaking at the India AI Impact Summit in New Delhi in February.
We don't yet know how to think about some superintelligence being aligned with dictators and totalitarian countries. We don't know how to think about countries using AI to fight new kinds of war with each other. We don't know how to think about when and whether countries are going to have to think about new forms of social contracts. But we think it's important to have more understanding and society-wide debate before we're all surprised.
So that's Sam Altman of OpenAI. And just quoting the Pentagon secretary, Trump calls him the war secretary, the defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, at a briefing in the last days. Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force, America, regardless of what international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history. B-2s, fighters, drones, missiles, and of course classified effects, all on our terms with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. Craig Jones.
Those are two jarring statements. Sam Altman's, ideas, I think in some, in what he said, he's right. We don't know about this. We don't know about that, what the future holds. My view would be that because we don't know of the potential dangers, risks, and damages that these technologies brings, we should pause as societies, as companies, as nations, as leaders, to have a serious conversation about what kind of AI future we want, whether this is a world that we want to build. Meanwhile, Hesketh, the Department of War, in January released a statement, a whole program actually, called the AI Warfare Fighter Strategy, which some of the quote that you've just read comes from. And it talks about maximum lethality, as you say, out with the rules of engagement. This is a deliberate sidelining of the checks and balances, accountabilities for war, the firing of military lawyers, who are the community that I've worked with, who give legal advice to militaries, and just going ahead with it and Hesketh saying explicitly, just because we don't know how these technologies work, we need this first mover advantage. And it's that classic move fast and break things. And, we don't care about the consequences. These are really worrying times and developments.
You've referred to the war lawyers several times, and it's the title of your book. Explain what you mean and how they've been fired and sidelined.
So these military lawyers have been, fighting alongside militaries for centuries. In fact, the U.S. Corps is the oldest law firm in America. And they do all kinds of things. But the thing that I've been interested in is they're giving advice to military commanders and decision makers for operations. So anytime a single target is struck in the last couple of decades, you would have a military lawyer present looking at things, doing what's called a proportionality calculation. So, okay, here's the military target. What's the risk of civilians? Should we go ahead? Should we pause? Are there certain measures we can take to avoid civilian casualties? And a host of other considerations. One would be the girls' school. Is this a legitimate target, or is this indeed a girls' school? So that's military necessity. And, they've had a long history. And, I worked with them. These are professional, serious people, educated at the best law school throughout America. They're also soldiers. Israel has its own version of them. And they've done credible work with militaries. And the Trump administration, one of the first acts that he does after he's sworn in his second term is to fire the heads of those legal units. So, the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, each have their own heads. He fired them. And then further down the ranks, he fired and replaced them with yes men. And beyond the firing and replacing, we are hearing from reporting and from some of my own contacts that the military lawyers are either just not being listened to when they raise objections, or they're becoming silent in these war rooms where these decisions are made. Because much like in the Trump administration, where his civilian and his advisors are around him, unless you say yes and go along with it, you're simply not welcome there, and you'll either be fired or not listened to. And so again, seriously worrying, especially when you put that alongside this simultaneous war on all these civilian casualty initiatives. So there was something called the Center of Excellence, which was to do with civilian protection. It's been a decade in the making. Lots of senior people in the US administrations, from Obama to Biden through Trump term 1, have been involved in that. And Trump, presses Control-Alt-Delete on day one and gets rid of the civilian center because they're not interested in avoiding civilian casualties, which feels like we're hearkening back to Vietnam or something.
Finally, Craig Jones, we just have a minute, but if you can explain this rift between Anthropic and the Pentagon, Anthropic saying its company could not be used for mass surveillance of Americans and for fully autonomous weapons, and then the Trump administration retaliating after they sued, President Trump ordering federal agencies to stop using Anthropic products, Pete Hegseth declaring the firm a supply chain risk. But then we hear that Claude, owned by Anthropic, is possibly used by Palantir in targeting this girls' school that killed well over 100 girls.
Yeah, there's lots to say here. One is that that seems like a disproportionate act when a company just exercises its right to disagree with what the government is doing. And I think the CEO at the time said disagreeing with the government is American as American pie. But the other thing is that this is infrastructure. I think some people think, AI is just a tool, it's something on your desk or it's something in the background, you just press delete. It's infrastructure that's embedded in the entire, intelligence apparatus. And so therefore you can't just delete it. So hence why it's still used, hence why it might take up to 6 months to try and get some of Claude products out of the software. The other thing is, it was good to see that ethical objection. It seems like the only, moral stance which has been taken on these conversations in the AI war is certainly in Silicon Valley. I would just object to their objection on 2 principles. They're against mass surveillance of US citizens only. They say nothing about citizens around the world. And partly their objection to its use for lethality is a technical rather than moral objection. Is to say, right now the algorithms are not quite good enough because they have this error rate, but they're not necessarily saying that they wouldn't go along with its use later on. So it's not that they're against lethality and killing per se, but that just technically the algorithms are not quite ready, and so they wanted to press pause. So there's lots to say about that, but it is a disproportionate act and response by the Trump administration, I think.
Craig Jones, want to thank you for being with us, senior lecturer in political geography at Newcastle University, joining us from the UK, the author of The War Lawyers, United States, Israel, and Juridical Warfare, expert on modern warfare and aerial targeting, currently leading a research project on civilian casualties and war-related injury in Gaza and Iraq. We'll link to your piece in the conversation. Iran war shows how AI speeds up military kill chains. Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. And for more of our audience-supported journalism, go to democracynow.org, where you can download our news app, sign up for our newsletter, subscribe to the daily podcast, and so much more.
How you doing? Try something new. I'm always playing around with the kitchen. Trying something new. I'll try to all right. I have no idea how this is going to come out, but this is what I'm cooking. I got some. I made this chicken tikka marsala. This chicken's been sitting in here a couple days, so it's super tenderized. This was a yogurt dressing, but I had space. I have this thing. I'm going to stick it in here and I put the sauce over it. Now we're going to slow cook it in the little oven thing they have in Japan. Really cool little oven. All right. Gotta get some water. Water. Put that in there. Alright, turn this on. Put the fish. See, this is for fish. I'm the only person. My mother-in-law would go crazy because it's a fish grill, but I use it for everything. I turn it low down, and this is the magic number. 30 minutes on the low heat is the magic number. 30 minutes on the low heat. What do you say, Darren? Loaded. What's up, JS? Good to see you guys. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on here. Everyone's saying we lost, you know that. All the intellectuals on the internet. Everyone.
Welcome back to another episode of More from Sam. Just want to remind everybody we are taping this live in front of subscribers, and we've had them submit questions in advance of the show. And then we've asked them to provide any follow-ups using the chat feature so that we can try to have Sam, you, address their feedback in real time. All right, let's get on to our first topic. I want to start with Iran again. Last time we discussed holding two thoughts in our heads at the same time. One, you thinking it was right to get rid of the Iranian regime, and two, that you were worried that we were being led by an incompetent administration. How are you feeling at this moment?
Well, I think that sort of twofold impression has only solidified. I mean, certainly the incompetence has been on display more and more. The incompetence and the consequences of the initial incompetence. I mean, say the initial incompetence was to have done absolutely nothing to prepare the American people or Congress for this war, to have lurched into it in an authoritarian way, to have given fuel and even seeming evidence to conspiracy theorists who think we were dragged into it by Israel. I mean, I'll acknowledge that Israel and America don't have precisely the same set of concerns and incentives in this war, right? So it's rational to differentiate between Israel's needs and America's. I mean, I think that's, to some degree, that's true. So we could talk about that. But Trump and the administration have not given a clear rationale for the war. I mean, Trump has said all manner of things as a reason for us doing this. And has been totally unpersuasive, right? I mean, just look at. Strangely, he has a communication problem that's almost at the level of Biden's during his presidency. I mean, Biden's massive failing as a president, among his many minor failings, is that he couldn't communicate at a certain point. He couldn't communicate at all about anything, and he just simply had to hide from the public. For obviously neurological reasons. Well, I don't know what Trump's reasons are, but Trump is totally ineffective in communicating about this because he either doesn't know anything, or he's content to be completely incoherent, or doesn't notice that he's incoherent. But the messaging has been terrible, and in the run-up to this, we've done nothing but alienate our allies with tariffs and threats and bullying and authoritarian nonsense. And now that we see we need allies, surprisingly, right, to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Apparently, we want our allies to help us do that. That comes as a surprise to many people. I'm not sure it should have, but it seems to have come as a surprise to Trump because at one point, Keir Starmer offered a British ship, I believe, or two or three, and Trump said, no thanks. We don't need someone who's coming late to a war that's already been won. And now he's bullying Starmer to give the ships that he actually needs, right? So it is the most unprofessional, slipshod, shambolic messaging around this. And so one can only hope that the actual dropping of bombs is being executed with real precision and impressive competence. I have no reason to believe it isn't. But so it's totally reasonable to be worried that we could screw this up. I'm not confident we will screw this up. I mean, I think I will be unsurprised if this turns out to be a success, despite all of these malapropisms. I think it could be a success, right? We could wake up one day to realize that there's a secular democracy being born in Iran because we destroyed this evil regime, and it's what the bulk of the Iranian people really wanted all the while, right? And so we could stumble into real success here, and that's certainly to be hoped for. But it could also be a ghastly failure. We could produce something like a failed state in Iran, and that will seem to vindicate all the people who were against this war in the first place. And the one other thing I would point out is that most of the people who are against this war are not making the most basic acknowledgement of the evil of the Iranian regime and the needless misery of the Iranian people, right? So they're not connecting the humanitarian dots that they really should connect to be sane critics of this war. I mean, the first thing you have to say if you're going to criticize this war is to acknowledge that this is an evil regime, it would be better if it didn't exist.
Yeah, but you're not acknowledging that you're making it worse for these people, blowing up the infrastructure, blowing up, dousing them in carcinogenics and everything else. So is it really better for them?
And your heart goes out to the Iranian people who don't want to live under this miserable theocracy. But you have these further reasons to worry that this adventure is a very bad idea. And there's an argument to be had there. I mean, Damon Linker just published a Substack article that made that case, and I thought fairly persuasively. But still, most critics of this war don't do that, and they sound completely delusional to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did point out that Trump went to war without NATO, and now he's telling them, hey, you guys are the one that needs the oil, so get in here to the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, but worse than that, he's also saying that we need the help, right? Like we actually couldn't do this on our own, it seems, right? I mean, now it remains to be seen whether that's going to be true, but there is this perception that we have already gotten in over our heads, despite how much we have pulverized the regime, right? I mean, the evidence of that is pretty remarkable. But the fact that, we either appeared not to have anticipated how easy it is and how asymmetrical the threat is in the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, how it's like, one guy in a fishing boat with a suicide vest could close the whole thing down, or just.
I think it's a little bit more than that, yeah.
One person laying mines. No, it's totally asymmetrical, apparently. I mean, you can't let one person with one mine have access to the water. Otherwise, no one's going to send a ship through, right? And now we're in this awful position of watching the Iranians dictate who can come through the strait, right? So Iranian oil and Chinese ships are happily passing through the strait, apparently, and we're letting that happen because we don't have control. So it is that part appears to be a humiliating failure in the making. I think I would also add that if at the end of all of this there hasn't been regime change, and the Iranian people are still under the boot of theocrats, and we're now left to try to negotiate with some religious fanatic who perhaps is pretending not to be a fanatic about their, the existing, 400 kilograms of partially enriched uranium that they still have, and their aspirations to spin up more. I think that will be just an objective failure, right? It would be better not to have, as much as we have degraded the regime, that would be bad for the U.S. I'm not so sure it would be bad for Israel in the same way. Maybe everything from here forward, no matter what happens, is a success from Israel's point of view. Again, we don't have quite the same interests there, but simply because Iran, a nuclear Iran is an existential threat to Israel. There's no question. So, pulverizing the regime, degrading their capacity, killing their ballistic missile regime, if only that, right? Has
that been confirmed? That's been confirmed that the nuclear facilities have been pulverized? I mean, I know they claimed that last time.
But the ballistic missiles, the conventional missiles, have been either eradicated or they've shot their last one. It seems. I mean, it really seems that they don't have much capacity left. All of that's good for Israel. That's neither here nor there, really, for the U.S. I'm just saying that the way we went into this, and the incompetence that surrounded so many features of this from our side, not Israel's side. If at the end of the day, there really is no fundamental reset in Iran, and we're just left still trying to negotiate on some level around their nuclear aspirations, I think that's a terrible outcome, right? So that's worth worrying about.
But you've also said that you don't want American boots on the ground if push comes to shove. Which are you willing to let go of?
The boots on the ground part. I just know that we can't have jihadists with nukes. I mean, you can boil down the core of a sane foreign policy on this topic to that sentence, right?
So you're for sending in troops if that's what it takes.
If it's a jihadist regime that is within reach of nukes, send in the troops, right? Do whatever you have to do to stop that from happening, right? So how we do that, I mean, again, we should have allies. We should have gone to Congress. We should have made the case for this. And I think, I've always said, and I think I first got this idea from the Atlantic writer Mark Bowden, I think, maybe 20 years ago. It seems to me that much of this should be covert, right? I don't know why we ever have to take credit for anything. Right? I think we're at war with jihadism, full stop. We will be for the rest of our lives. Anyone who doesn't understand how jihadism is different from any other enemy we have, or really have ever had, doesn't understand jihadism. So, I mean, it makes an absolute mockery of any negotiation, any notion of deterrence. I mean, to say nothing of nuclear deterrence. You're dealing with avowedly suicidal people who are not bluffing, and they're not only it's not only that they're willing to die. The crucial quorum of them want to die, right? And if you don't believe that, again, you're simply ignorant about jihadism and haven't been paying attention to the last 25 years at least of what's been happening in the world. So it's a total deal breaker. Nukes with jihadists, just that cannot happen, right? So wherever it seems to be happening, we need to send in the troops, whatever that looks like, whether that's robots in the end or special forces or some combination of many things that seem different from our old misadventures that were just boots on the ground. That's fine, but we need a relentlessly intrusive policy with respect to jihadism and nuclear projects.
Okay, I'm trying to read this chat here that just came in. He says, people in the chat are pushing back on Sam earlier, saying that he has no reason to believe the bombs aren't being dropped accurately, even though the Trump admin is leading the war. How about the girls' school getting bombed?
Well, obviously, I'm not talking about the girls' school. That was a catastrophe and obviously a mistake, right? I mean, anyone who thinks we did that on purpose is a moron. So, I mean, you literally need not listen to another word out of the mouth of anyone who's speaking as though that was intentional, right? I mean, that harms our interests as colossally as anything we could possibly do, right? So, and the same is true of Israel. So, the idea that somehow
Israel's been blowing up schools and hospitals, so why wouldn't they blow up an all-girls school? Why wouldn't they feed us fake information? Why wouldn't they want to demoralize the leaders by killing their girls? I mean, it fits the pattern.
Part of our policy to kill schoolgirls by the hundreds. That's insane. But it's awful that happened, and it was clearly based on some error of intelligence or targeting or both. Generally speaking, we and the Israelis have killed so much of the leadership of the regime. That part sounds like it's out of some unbelievable movie, and it sounds like we are successfully degrading their capacity in all kinds of ways, but not sufficient to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, right? So it's that part. If that was surprising to us, that's another sign of our incompetence.
Yeah, I just think that the real issue there is I don't think most people really believe we did it on purpose. I think it's the mismanagement and just why it was so difficult just to say, what you just said, we would never have done that on purpose. It was accidental.
The messaging around this, we're in the hands of amoral, truly awful human beings who are running our country, right? I mean, and that has a consequence, right? Trump can't credibly step in front of a microphone and say anything compassionate about anything for any purpose, right? Because everyone knows that he's at minimum neurologically injured in some way, so it's not to be a normal person in that regard. And so it is with Pete Hegseth and the other cartoon characters who are in our government. So all of that's terrible. I mean, there's no. I mean, you're not gonna get to the back of me in feeling that these are the wrong people to be doing this very important and risky job. But that doesn't suggest that destroying this regime wouldn't be a good thing. And the other thing to point out about critics of this war is they never seem to reckon with the widespread Iranian support for the war. Right. I mean, I'll be on later. What can you say to all the Iranians who are urging us onward in destroying this regime?